The full version of Football Manager 2024 has now been released and it's time for a new save. In my first main save of the FM24 cycle, I'm going to be trying to do something I've never done before, and that is attempting to build a nation. So, Välkommen till Sverige. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel on a brand new save. I'm going to be attempting something I've never done before, and that is to build a nation, and I've chosen to do it in Sweden. They currently sit 23rd in the coefficient rankings, and I'm going to try and make them one of the best nations in the entire world of football. Before we get going, please do smash the like button. Let me know that you're supporting me. Give me a little bit of a boost to start this FM24 cycle. Also, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to know when future videos are going to be released. This is going to be a little bit of a mishmash of YouTube videos and streaming, and I'm also going to play a little bit of it off camera to get through it a little bit quicker. I think the first couple of seasons, the aim is going to be to get the team that I've chosen up to the top flight, because I'm starting in the second tier, and then we're going to slowly try to build the nation as we go along. It's going to be a long, hard road, but hopefully a successful one. And for those of you who don't know, here is what a Build a Nation save is. So, a Build a Nation save, the aims and objectives of this save are to 1. Raise the standard of the league and the national team. 2. Create better youth intakes for the teams within that league. 3. Attract better players to the league. 4. Increase the number of top talents within the nation. 5. To increase the country's coefficient and reputation. And 6. Ultimately, the goal is to climb up the rankings and become one of the best nations in the entire footballing world. And how are we going to do it? Well, to start with, we're going to try and get our club promoted from the second tier into the top flight. We're then going to try and become one of the best teams in the league, to win trophies with that team and then qualify for and do well in European competition. We're also going to try and sign the best players we possibly can, whilst also improving the youth facilities and the youth intakes to give us better players in the future. We're going to try not to sell talented players to foreign clubs in order to improve a different nation, and then eventually we're going to try and manage the national team and lead them to success. So we're going to try and lead a club to success, we're going to try and build the nation's coefficient, and we're also going to try and take over the national team and win something with them as well. But what if it all goes wrong? Well, the only way it can go wrong really is if I get the sack. And if I get the sack, I'm going to move to another second tier team and start the climb all over again. Hopefully, the first team I take over will already be a powerhouse by the time if I get the sack, if I ever do. So then I take another team, move them up, and I put another team in the top flight and build them. So it just helps to build a nation, because ultimately the save is about building a nation, not just one team. I know building one team will enable me to build the nation better, but the save is about building a nation overall. And the save will only be a success if and when I can get the nation into the top 5 in the coefficient rankings. I'm not going to say, I'm going to try and get them to the top. I'm going for top 5. At the minute, Sweden are 23. I'm going for top 5. And the club I'm going to be doing it with is Helsingborg. Founded in 1907, Helsingborgs are one of the most successful teams in Swedish football history, becoming league champions 5 times and winning 5 Swedish Cups. They currently sit 6th in the all-time Allsvenskan table and have competed in the top flight for 69 seasons in total. They have also competed at the highest level of European competition, reaching the group stages of the Champions League back in the 2000-2001 season. However, despite their rich history, Helsingborg haven't had the best time in recent years. They last won the Swedish title in 2011, they last reached a cup final in 2013-14, and now they ply their trade in the second tier of Swedish football after their 3rd relegation since 2016, last season. So we're going to try and get Helsingborg back to the top of Swedish football and in turn build the nation. But I am not fluent in Swedish, I don't know much about Swedish football. But this man does. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our manager for this save, Magnus Olsson, born on the 1st of July 1983. Olsson started his career in the Helsingborg youth team at the age of 16 and made his senior debut for the club shortly after turning 18. He struggled to become a first-team regular though, so he moved to Halmstad in 2005, and at Halmstad he was one of the first names on the team sheet. After 2 seasons, the attacking midfielder caught the eye of several European clubs. In 2007, he moved to England, signing for West Ham United, and then he moved to Nice in France a year later. After one injury-hit season, he moved back to Helsingborg, originally on loan and then permanently. In his second spell at the club, he was a first-team regular and even earned an Allsvenskan Champions Medal in 2011. Shortly after this, he moved clubs again, signing for Akademisk Boldklub in Denmark. However, the lure of Helsingborg hung over him, and he returned to his hometown club for a third spell in 2013. This time, he stayed until the end of the 2016 season, having become a fringe player in his final campaign with the club. Short spells at IFK Varnamo and Umeå followed before he hung up his boots for the final time in 2018 to take up a coaching role with the Swedish national youth setup. Now, he is back at Helsingborg, this time as manager, as he attempts to take the club he loves back to the top of the Swedish league and also make his nation one of the best in the world. So, there's the club, there's the manager, there's the aims and objectives of this save, so let's go into the game and have a look at Helsingborg. There we go, welcome to Helsingborg. We are a professional club, we've got professional status, we've got 39,988 social media followers, we've got £999,767 in the bank, we're valued at just under £6 million, we've got loan debt of 475k, we've got a 2-star reputation which needs to be better. We've got 3.5-star training facilities, 3-star youth facilities and 2-star youth recruitment. So it's decent enough. It's a decent enough starting point, but we do need to improve that very quickly if we're going to build a nation. We will compete in the Superettan, which starts in April, and we are predicted to finish 8th. A minute ago, when I was looking at the club info, it said the media prediction was 1st, but it's 8th on this. So we've got a chance of challenging up there, but according to the season preview, we're going to be sort of mid-table. So I'm hoping to be able to improve that, to be fair. The rules are, the start date is the 2nd of April, the end date is the 11th of November. There are 16 teams. We play 30 games, play each other twice. The match squad must have at least 9 players trained by a club in Sweden. 5 subs can be used in 3 different stoppages from a maximum of 7 named. Top 2 get automatic promotion. 3rd goes to the Allsvenskan Superettan playoff. So that will be the team that finished 3rd in the 2nd tier will play the team that finished 3rd from bottom in the top flight over 2 legs, I believe. And the winner gets promoted or stays there if it's the 3rd from bottom team. Bottom 2 are relegated to Division 1. 14th and 13th play in a playoff for relegation as well. Transfer and registration rules. A maximum of 5 under-22 players are allowed on loan who can play for both clubs during the loan spell. Maximum of 1 under-22 goalkeeper allowed on loan who can play for both clubs during the loan spell. Maximum of 7 foreign-based players over the age of 22 allowed on loan at a time. And a maximum of 7 players over the age of 22 allowed out on loan to a foreign club at a time. And terracing is permitted in stadiums, so you're allowed to stand up. The transfer window opens on the 1st of February and closes on the 28th of March. So that is before the season even starts. We have a month if we want to bring in any more players. And then it reopens again on the 7th of July and closes on the 31st of August. So it's open for another month and, well, almost 2 months in the summer, where we can hopefully try and bring in reinforcements to give us that last little push towards promotion at the end of the season. As you can see, the Nation Club coefficient, we are currently 22nd in the coefficients. I want us to get up to top 5 to be able to say this save was a success. I've got until FM25 comes out, to be fair, to try and do it. So I've got an entire year to get Sweden from 22nd into the top 5. Don't want to take that long if I can possibly do it a lot sooner, but there you go. We start off in 22nd in the club coefficient. As for the Superettan, in terms of competition rankings, the league is the 47th in Europe. Obviously, it's the second flight of Swedish football, so it's the 47th ranked competition in Europe. And the Allsvenskan, the top flight, is 24th. So, it'll be building those reputations of the leagues as well, hopefully, and getting those higher. So we're going to be trying to build the league reputation. We're going to build the nation coefficient. We're going to eventually try and build the national team up as well. So it's going to be a tough save. Because of our coefficient, we currently get, in Sweden, one qualification place for the Champions path into the Champions League. And we get 3 qualification places in qualification round 2 for the UEFA Europa Conference League. So, as far as I can see there's no UEFA Europa League place. But we'll have to have a little look at that, because surely we got a Europa League place. Unless that goes to the cup winners. This is just through the league, I think. So, we'll have a little look at that as we go along. And talking about the cups, the Svenska Cupen is the 24th ranked cup in the rankings of cups throughout Europe. It's even below the Carabao Cup and the Scottish Premier Sports Cup. So it's not really exactly a very popular cup, is it? But hopefully we can try and win it along the way and boost its reputation as well. Right, there's all about the league and the coefficient and stuff like that and where we're ranked. Now, let's go and have a look at the club itself. We'll have a look at the squad, the staff, the finances, and the club vision. Right, we have a squad of 27 players, including 4 loanees that are in at the club from other clubs. I presume they're only here for the season, but we'll have a look at that as we go. I have filtered it so that it takes away the players that are not at the club. We've got a couple of players that are out on loan. I'll have a look, see if I can bring them back, and then we'll have a look at them properly down the line. But we've also got 4 players out on long-term injuries. John Berkfeldt is out for up to 5 months with a broken ankle. Andreas Landgren is out for up to 6 months with a hip injury. Dennis Olsen is out for up to 7 months with damaged cruciate ligaments. And Arian Kobashi is out for up to 7 months with a dislocated shoulder. He's an attacking midfielder and striker, inside forward. And he's out for up to 7 months with a dislocated shoulder. If he was a goalkeeper, I would be able to understand that injury. I don't understand that injury. Unless the dislocated shoulder is affecting his foot. I don't know. Stop pestering me. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? But never mind. Like I said, we've got 27 players in the squad. There are a lot of breakthrough talent. Like if you look at the agreed playing time, there's a lot of breakthrough potential or breakthrough prospects or whatever you want to call them, 18, 19-year-olds that are like 2-star, 2.5-star current ability. I'll have a look at their attribute stuff properly. I'm not going to go through the entire squad. There's 27 players, like I said. It would take ages to go through every single one individually. But we will look at the players as we go along the line. Like, I'm here for a while. At least I hope I'm here for a while. There's going to be plenty of chance to look at the players as we go through. But if we click on ability, I'm not going to go just on star rating. Obviously, there's attributes that I'm going to need the players to have to fit the roles that I want them to play. I haven't set up a tactic yet. That's going to be something I do across as we go along pre-season. But if we look, our best player, according to star rating, is Kalle Jolsson, our goalkeeper, 24-year-old Swedish player. He's on £975 a week. His contract expires December 2024. And he's valued up to £275,000. Our next 3 best players according to star rating are loanees. So the loan players are going to be some of our star players. And if you look, they're all important players. We've got, 5? We've got 5 important players at the club. 3 of them are loanees. 1 of them's a goalkeeper. And the other one is a player who's out injured for most of the season. So other than that, we've got a couple of regular starters who are Wilhelm Loper, 3.5-star current ability defensive winger, and Adam Helborg, who is a ball-winning midfielder, defensive midfielder / central midfielder, 3.5-star current ability. There's a lot of potential in the club though. Like if you look at the star ratings for potential, a lot of players there have got like 4 up to 5-star potential. So there is a foundation here to build a very good squad by the looks of things. Obviously, when we go up, those star ratings will change. The star ratings are only based on the players at your club now. So Your star rating is in relation to the players at your club, and it's also in relation to the league that you're playing in as well. But there seems to be quite a bit of potential floating about the club at the minute, at least at this level. We also have a reserve team, which is made up of mostly 17, 18-year-olds. There are a couple of 20 and 21-year-olds in there. I haven't filtered this one, so you can see there are a few players that are out on loan. But again, quite a bit of potential floating about. And the under-19s, there's only, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 9 players there, but again, a lot of potential. £7 a week they're on. They're earning an absolute fortune. Like this one, Viggo Andersson, 15 years old, up to 5-star. Haram Nezerovski is up to 5-star. All Swedish players, all good potential players that I'm hoping that will come good and help me to build the nation. This could be the next set of great Swedish international footballers. So I'm hoping that at least 1 or 2 of them make it anyway. As for staff, we don't have a lot. Our coaching team consists of the manager, 1 head of youth development, 1 coach. So let's have a look at who they are, shall we? We've got our technical director / assistant manager is Hans Eklund, 53-year-old. Was capped 7 times by Sweden. Technical director and assistant manager. His assistant manager attributes 14 people management. He's not very good at judging player potential and player ability though, so maybe I've got to look at changing him. Although I don't know if 8 or 9 is a decent rating at this sort of level, but we'll have a look as we go along. We've got a head of youth development / director of football, Mikael Dahlberg, who's a 37-year-old who was capped once by his country and scored a goal. He's got 17 working with youngsters, so head of youth development suits for him. He's also our director of football. And the only coach we have at the club is Sven Andersson, who is a goalkeeping coach. And he's 14 across the board for goalkeeping, so I think I'll keep hold of him. But obviously we're going to need to add a couple of coaches in. We're going to need a fitness coach. We're going to need a couple of general coaches to coach the players and get the best out of them. Our medical team looks to be quite good, to be honest. Physiotherapy is good. Sports science, not so good. But we are the best in the league in regards to physiotherapy. So hopefully our players won't get injured as much. Although I'm not sure if FM24 has been fixed for the amount of injuries that there are. And we come to the club with 4 long-term injuries, so I really don't want any more either. Just keep your injuries somewhere else. And our recruitment team is our technical director / assistant manager and our head of youth development / director of football, who we've already looked at. We've got decent judging potential, decent judging ability, but it's nothing great. If you look, we're 3rd at judging player potential, 3rd at judging player ability, and 4th for analysing data in this division. So that's going to have to grow a lot if we're going to compete with the top sides in the top flight in the next couple of seasons. Because hopefully, my plan is get promoted within 2 seasons, stay up, and then compete. I don't want to be hanging about taking 10, 12 years before we get a top 6 finish in the top flight. I want to be doing it within a few years. So that's the squad and the staff. Let's have a look at the vision. Our club vision is to increase commercial revenue and work within the wage budget. So the increased commercial revenue is favoured, work within the wage budget is required. And it's also required that we record a top half finish in this division. So we've just got to finish in the top half. What was it, 16 teams? So top half is top 8. Maybe even 9th, but top 8, then they'll be happy. It's a required objective. And then next season, 2024, they want us to reach the playoffs and the manager's contract expires. So we've got to make sure that we keep up with those. Our supporters, 14% hardcore, 38% core, 19% family, 14% fair weather, 1% corporate, and 14% casual fans. The supporters' influence on the board is high. So we've got to make sure we please the fans. 39,900 followers on social media. There are 3,000 season ticket holders. They want us to record a top half finish in this division as well. They also want us to be competitive against Malmo if we happen to play against them, finish above Landskrona in the league, and be competitive against IFK Gothenburg if we happen to ever play against them as well. Our rivals are Landskrona, Malmo and AIK. The favoured personnel at the club are the two that are already here. And it says finances. Obviously, we haven't made any finances yet because the season hasn't started. But talking about finances, let's have a look at the club's money situation. The money at this club is 999,767 in the bank. We have zero transfer budget and we are spending all of our wage budget at the moment. And we have a scouting budget of £21,760. We lost £33,686 this month, but obviously there's been no football. And I ain't even been here, so it's not my fault. Debts and loans. Miscellaneous debt of £350,000. Remaining interest payable is £120,000. And payable £4,000 per month. So, yeah, it's not exactly taking much out of the money situation, but there's no net debt really and no transfer debt, so it's a decent financial footing to start off on. Sponsorships, club membership, we have 3,300 members, which brings in £100,000 a season. Stadium sponsor brings in £145,000 a season. The main kit sponsor is £725,000 and general is £725,000 as well. So there's a decent amount of sponsorship money coming in at the club. And my first game in charge will be in 5 days' time, the 4th of March, as we take on Mallorca in a friendly. We then play Girona, Real Zaragoza, Huesca and Start in friendlies before the season gets underway against Östersund away from home on the 2nd of April. Our first home game is against Osters on the 9th of April. So, that is the team. That is the finance situation. That's where we sit in the coefficient and the rankings and stuff, where our cup's ranked and what the club want us to do, where the media think we're going to finish. And, yeah, that is going to be all she wrote for this episode. Right, there you go. There is your introduction to Sweden and Helsingborg IF. The team that Magnus Olsson is going to hope to take back to the top flight, become a powerhouse in Swedish football, and in turn build the nation into one of the greatest nations in the footballing world. That's the aim, that's the objective, and that is what we are going to be trying to do in the next few months. It's going to be a long road, like I said before. It's going to be kind of a mishmash. It's going to take place in streams on YouTube. I'm going to play some of it off screen to get some of it played quite quickly. Quite a squeaky chair I've got here, isn't it? Yeah, so it's going to be a mishmash of things. You will be able to keep up to date with what's happening on YouTube. I will post regular updates, but I'm also going to be looking to stream as much as I possibly can with it as well. Not quite sure if I'm going to do it on Twitch or YouTube yet. Don't know if I keep this saved to YouTube and start a whole different one for Twitch, but I will make that decision as we go along. Anyway, I'm going to take a full look at the squad in the next part of this series. I'm going to try and see if I need to make any sort of signings or anything, get rid of any players, and then I will look to show you all the players that we're working with for season 1. Like to keep you all informed and know exactly what we're working with. But anyway, like I said, that's going to wrap up this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. Let me know you enjoyed it. And I hope you will join me again next time. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye for now.